We're here on a nice Wednesday evening to learn a bit more about pathways. I am very pleased to have you all in the room, and to be honest, it's one of those sessions that bring me joy because I know how hard it is to be to just navigate pathways, wasn't it? And I think for most people who join Toastmasters, this is an issue. And not only that it's hard to navigate pathways, but sometimes we don't even know what's there. We don't even know how to deal with it. So we joined Toastmasters because we like to improve our public speaking, but then, surprise, there's a pathway program. What? Well, tonight we're going to look at what are pathways, how can we choose a pathway once we are members of Toastmasters, how to navigate these pathways, what happens if we finish a path, is that the end of it really? And then, of course, a bit more, maybe for the VPEs that are in the room, just to take something home for them to work on their membership build up and on their education programs. Right. So for those who have not met me yet, my name is Alex. If you're interested to know how to pronounce my last name is Stemate. Now, also a fun fact about me, I have just put my aligners in, so there will be a lot of S's going out of my mouth, but I trust we can make this work. I am your education chair for this year, and we've had a full year of events, a lot going on in this space. We've looked at AI, we looked at metaphors, we looked at impromptu speaking, so much more. And guess what? This is the second last month, and there is one more event coming up, and I kept a very special guest for that event. So stay tuned. There will be another event in education program. What are pathways? I'll make this even simpler. I know I have content on the screen, but really, most of the times when you have a screen is for others to look at it, not for you to read from it. So pathways for everyone in the room are your LMS, Learning Management System. As soon as you enter Toastmasters, you are encouraged, hopefully, by your VPEs to pick a path. Now, what this path really gives you is a structure to what you're going to do in Toastmasters. And it's really building up to your confidence. It starts very small with a little speech that you can give immediately, and then it builds onto that. I'm not going to spoil everything because we're going to talk about it a bit more in depth. But there are 6 pathways that you can pick from. It's online content, very easy to navigate. There are videos, there are now expanding versions of the content as well. So it has become much more user-friendly than it used to be. And you can build, of course, real-world transferable skills through pathways. Like I said, there are 6 pathways that we can look at. So we have dynamic leadership, engaging humor, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, and visionary communication. However, guess what? As of this year, there are 2 more. Yes, there are 2 vintage paths available for people who want to take them on board. So this vintage path have something from the previous legacy pathways, if I'm not mistaken, they used to be called. So something to think about if you're interested. When you join Toastmasters, and I trust there will be people who've been in Toastmasters maybe for a few months or maybe 1 year. When you join Toastmasters, you get your free pathway. The first one is free. They say, we hooked you in. This is your education program. But what happens after? Well, after, if you want to do more, it's 20 USD per pathway. But this comes also with a disclaimer because the price will increase from 1st of July this year. So what I recommend for people who have already finished a path or they're on the edge of it, it's probably the best decision to buy one just before the 1st of July because you do save 35 USD. And just like I said, pathways come with this built-in levels for you to build your confidence as you speak. And are you interested to know about the vintage path?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Well, they're a bit more expensive. They are 60 USD per path, and they do also work towards your club success plan. So if you tick any of the projects in the new ones, they will also work the same as the 6 normal ones. Okay, so if you have picked your pathway, I thought of dissecting them for you. This looks very crowded, I know, but it's really easy once you look at one of them. You don't have to look at all of them because they are all really similar, just made to build into that confidence that you are looking for. So if you are into engaging humor, level 1 looks pretty much the same for all of them, the same number of projects you need to complete, and it will all start with your icebreaker. You've done your icebreaker, then you have to write your speech, then you have to focus on body language, evaluation, and feedback, and of course, that mastering fundamental for all of them. Then level 2 has 4 projects, very easy to navigate as well. It's more about making sure that you make time to do your speeches. Then level 3, as you go on, actually, I wanted to make a bit of a distinction here. As you move up the levels, it gets lesser projects, but they are a bit more complicated because they may need you to do a research. They may need you to go and build a team, build a project, come and tell the club how you've done that. So they decrease in terms of number, but they're definitely more challenging and demanding from you. And they build skills like leadership or talking to a very confusing group that keeps bothering you, which thankfully is not my group tonight. But they all build up to something bigger for you to become a better speaker. Now, if you've been in Toastmasters for a while, you may say, I don't think this is everything. I think there is more to each level. Well, you were right. There is more to each level. As of early or as of late last year and early this year, pathways have introduced something new. For each level to be completed, every member needs to now be part of club roles. And for everyone who has struggled with filling club roles, how good is this? Do you want to complete your level? Yes. Well, you have to take on a role. And not only that you have to take on a role, but this will build that connection with all the groups, because then you don't have someone who's constantly doing speeches and someone who's constantly being the timer. We have to rotate, right? So here's a little glimpse on what's going to happen next. For members to complete their level ones, on top of those level 1 criteria that we've seen on the first slide, on the previous slide, we also have a requirement for them to have done at least a table topic speaker role. So they must have answered a table topic before they do their icebreaker. I know this comes with the question, what happens if they signed up but they didn't have the chance to do a table topic? Really, this is not math. This is not 1 + 1 = 2. This is, okay, they haven't done it before, but they must do it as soon as possible, because that 1 to 2 minutes will be much better, or will definitely add on to their experience and the way they present their icebreaker, right? So they build their confidence. They also have to be an evaluator. Actually, for level 1, it's also a requirement of one of the projects, but they do have to evaluate another speaker. And they have to take on a role in the club, either a timer or an R counter. Simple roles, but works for the better and for the best. Then level 2. With level 2, we increase even in roles that they have to take in the club. They have to participate as a grammarian, right? We move from R counter to grammarian. Then they have to serve as an evaluator for someone else's speech, and they have to serve as table topic master. If you look at level 1 and level 2 for someone who has just joined, these are not levels that will be completed within 1 to 3 months. These may take up to half a year, right? Because every meeting builds up to it, and there are projects and there are roles that they need to take. And then we also have to put them in front of either Toastmaster or a timer or an R counter. Now, the Toastmaster role, we know that it's a bigger role just because they have to hold on the entire meeting. But sometimes people come in to Toastmasters with skills from outside. So it might not be a big challenge for them. Or if it's still a big challenge, they can continue to take those timer and counter role. Going into level 3, 4, and 5, the list continues, but it also gets bigger. In level 3, there is a requirement for them to present something called Successful Club Series. This is a speech that they need to present in the club. It's both, actually, there are three, right? Successful Club Series, Better Speaker Series, and Leadership Excellence Series. These are new series introduced by Toastmasters that will support the club, the speaker, and the community. So, for us to support the club is an educational on something related to club. It could be moments of truth. It could be how to run a quality meeting, anything that or how to build membership really. So anything that will help the club to grow is from the Club Success series. And then for the Better Speaker series, it's about us as speakers. How do we present ourselves in terms of speaking, and then making an educational about that. And eventually we have the leadership excellence, where we really talk about types of leadership and how those types can support the community. Again, these are educational type of speeches, and they can go from 10 to 12 minutes. And of course, they have to have evaluations done, and they have to be either table topic speaker or table topic master or an introductory mentor. What is an introductory mentor? It's not an assigned mentor, is not someone who must stick with the person for a long time, but someone who can really help a new joiner set up. Someone who can support that new joiner, maybe understand even pathways, or maybe how a meeting runs, right? And then, as I said, when we go to level 4, it's just adding a bit more, presenting one of the series, but also being the Toastmaster of the day, also being a general evaluator and a normal evaluator. Now, if we think of general evaluator, you may see that they are mainly required at level 4 and level 5. Actually, in level 5, we are required to do general evaluation twice and to be Toastmasters twice, right? And also do at least 2 evaluations. Of course, this is not a big task or a big ask of someone who is usually doing it. However, if you have a new member who maybe doesn't know how to navigate pathways, or who simply doesn't feel comfortable in all areas or in all roles, then this may become a bit of coaching opportunity from VPE or any of the committee member with other members to make sure that they understand that now this is a 360 type of role, is not only ticking off your levels in pathways.
Alex, I'm just going to jump in before you leave that page.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you want to come off mute and ask Alex your question?
Yes, thank you. So, um, just looking at the additional requirements for each level, is that at that level or at or before that level? And I'll clarify my question by using
Yeah.
myself as an example. I've just finished level 4 recently of engaging humor. At level
Yeah.
5, you've got to serve as a general evaluator twice and Toastmaster of the day twice.
Yeah.
I've done those roles many times.
Yeah.
Do they count there, or do I have to do them while I'm doing level 5?
Yeah, that's a great question, Andrew. And to be honest, I'm going back into my initial thought, that thought of saying this is not 1 + 1 = 2. Of course, you must do at least twice the general evaluator and the Toastmaster of the day. However, if you have been doing these roles for the entire year before you even enter level 5, I'm pretty sure that the VP and the committee would understand that you don't have to do it just specifically for you to complete level 5. At the same time, where I see this as a challenge is for people who have never done it, right? Or for people who we usually struggle to put into those roles, because that's where we I would assume that that's where Toastmasters International came from when they put these requirements, because probably the role distribution was very skewed towards people like yourself who constantly show up and they want to do more for the club, and others who just want to sit and enjoy without taking on roles. So to answer your question, I really think that this is a officer decision, but if I was in the officer group, I wouldn't make it a problem if you don't do it twice in level 5, knowing that you've done it maybe 3 or 4 times during the year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Alex, there's also Kirsty
Yeah.
said, I've done an icebreaker, but not a table topic yet. I did fill in for a last minute pull out though. So she obviously did it the other way around.
Mhm.
And I was nominated for the grammarian for the next meeting. Kirsty, are you just wanting to check whether that's okay or what?
Yeah, I just thought I'd mention it. I hope it is okay. I'm just kind of going with the flow. I've only
Yeah.
been to 2 meetings, so
Yeah, good on you. First of all, congratulations of making it. You know what they say? It's not the first meeting that is the hardest, it's the second. Because most people show up for the first time, but then they never come back. So good on you for making it. And also, I'm going to emphasize, if this is slightly different, it's not a problem, because of course you will have to do a table topic speech or speaker, but it's important to remember that table topics is part of your level 1, so you should answer a table topic while you're in level 1 at least once.
Can I just say, if I understand correctly, Kirsty, you've only been to 2 meetings and you've done your icebreaker already.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's very impressive.
yeah. So what happened was I put my name down, but I also put it was full. But my mentor said, because I was pretty keen, I do education, so I put my name as a backup. And someone had a tooth issue, and on that day I said, okay.
Good on you. And in all transparency, and I think this is something that every Toastmaster in the room can agree to, icebreaker is one of the hardest speeches. It's meant to be the easiest, but it somehow is the hardest because that's the first time you stand in front of a group that you haven't really seen before.
Oh, see,
So yeah,
my
good
advantage
job.
was I've stood in front of groups that I've never seen before.
Ah,
So, yeah, it's just a
yeah,
different style. So, yeah,
of course.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, well
Okay,
done.
that's
And I
the
hope I answered your question, yeah?
Yeah, I just just noticed that he's put me down to be grammarian, and I've only done that one thing. I'm not too phased by it, but I don't
Yeah,
know. Yeah, and that
that's
might
all
have
right.
been because I actually had the most tallies from the grammarian last time. That might have been why he did that. I don't know. I didn't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all good. And also, let's also maybe cast our mind back into levels. They are quite fluid, and we should be a bit flexible in how we look at levels, because sometimes we also need to prioritize our group. For example, in my club, there are times when my members will pull out last minute for obviously live type of events, and you have to step in. That doesn't mean like, oh, I can't step in because I haven't answered a table topic yet. No, this is where your maturity comes in place, and this is where your flexibility and support to your community comes in place as well. And it takes over that I must complete my level 1 now into I will complete my level 1, but I can also maybe be flexible and do another role first. Yeah.
Can I just, for Kirsty, just a recommendation for you to make things easier? If you're doing the grammarian the next meeting, make a note that you've been grammarian, because when you get to level 2, you will have had to be a grammarian to finish it. So even if you don't get another opportunity, you can tick that off.
Great note, Andrew. And you know what? I'm going to give you tip later on. So I hope that's something that you can all start using immediately. Right. So Joe, what do you think? Should we move on from here?
So definitely all good.
Awesome. Right. Do we have any VPEs in the room? I hope so. Yeah, I have at least one, so that's good for me. What is new in Pathways as a Basecamp manager? When you go into, have I shown you how to pick a path? Yeah. this is how you pick a path. Sorry, I think I went a bit too far. So when you are to choose a path, you have to go into your pathway education programs. Yeah. And then here you have an option to pick your language. Obviously, you will pick English. And then you have two options. Either you can view all pathways, and that will open those 6 boxes that I showed you with the 6 pathways, or you can take a test. Now, if you choose to take a test, this is the test. You just start, and then Toastmasters will ask you a few questions, and dependent on your answer, they will come up with a recommendation. Another question that I get here sometimes is like, do I have to pick this if it came out of my test? No, you don't have to. Nobody tells you that this is what you need to do. But if you're just curious to see how your mind works and what will be tailored to you, you can take the test and find out, and you can pick that pathways for yourself. Right. So this is what I wanted to also show you at the beginning. Now, as I said, as VPE, you have a Basecamp manager. Yeah, Basecamp manager access. But guess what? As of again late last year, it's not only the VPE that is a Basecamp manager, but everyone. Which means it's so much easier now for VPEs and the entire executive group to look at pathways and how their team is doing or how their members are doing. And what do we have here? You have the approvals. So if, let's say, Christy has finished her level 1 and she submitted that for approval, it will come under approvals here. And once this level comes from approval, it will go under the notification bar. And if you click on the notification bar, you can go and approve it. What I recommend for everyone who is a club officer, do not approve a level unless the VPE can't do it. So I would assume you have a group of your own where you discuss things. If you do have a group chat, talk about it. Hey, Christy has pushed her level 1 through. I can't, if you're the VPE, you say, for whatever reason, I can't approve it. Can you do it? And then someone else can step in. Also, that gives you the clarity that someone is accountable and responsible for approving pathways, and not everyone just does it and we don't know what's going on in the club anymore. Right? So it's good to communicate, but also to respect each other's role. And then when is this important? Again, if you are the VPE and you have completed the pathway, of course, you won't be able to accept or to approve your own pathway. So someone else needs to do it for you. Right? And that's, again, something that you can take turns in. And then in member overview, you will be able to see level. So let's say Joe finished level 5 and it's on a motivational strategy. So there'll be her name, MS, and level 5. But and the recent activity would be related to someone who has just rolled into pathways, someone who have just completed. It's more giving you an activity of what's going on in your club. And guess what I really wanted to show you? This Pathways in Progress. I think this is probably one of the best enhancements of Pathways because at one glance in one screen, you can see everything that's going on. Now, for the purpose of not showing you who has completed what, I have removed their names. But if you go into your own Basecamp manager, you can actually see the name of the person, then the pathways they're in, and out of 5, and including path completion, what have they done? So when a level is completed, it's going to appear with a green tick mark. And then if, for example, the person in presentation mastery has completed level 1, but as a VP or a club officer, you can also see they have done 2 out of their 4 projects in the second level. What does that really mean to us in club office group?
It means that they are, if I could remember.
Yeah.
It means to me that they are committed to moving forward and not just standing still.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that, Nola. They are committed to moving forward. You can see their progress very easy. And you can also look at your club success plan. Do you remember that? When you become a new officer, you get to set your club success plan. In that club success plan, you can pick and choose who should complete the next level. Why? For you to complete your DCP as a club. So for you to become distinguished or president distinguished or maybe Smedley distinguished, you need to make sure that you target the right people. So if you already completed 4 level 1s, let's say, maybe your next focus will be for someone to complete their level 2. Or maybe you need someone to complete their level 4. So you just need to pivot and focus on different members at different times of the year so that the club can also achieve their goals. Yeah?
Yes. May I ask one question
Yes,
in
please.
regard to that? Will clubs that increase their membership to say 30 and come from 20 and everyone's going rah rah, that's fabulous. Are they going to have enough time? Because I think with the additional things that they have to do and the number of members have increased, hallelujah, then it's going to be very difficult and there'll be less DCPs perhaps awarded and reach the level to which they would like to become. Is that becoming obvious yet or not?
Yes and no, but first of all, can I just say that this is such a valid point that you brought, Nola, because in my club, for example, I think we've reached 30 or we are at that number. And of course, with time, you understand that it's really hard to put people for speeches. What I also noticed is that it's really hard to involve members in table topics answers just because you want to also take care of your guests. However, as it happens, it's only a 6 months period of time when people get to renew and rethink or maybe just change their mind. And that's not enough time to really say, oh, I'm no longer taking members. That could be also a personal way of thinking. So I'm not saying this must be true, but the way that I look at it is I don't think it's time to stop members. It's more of communicating with all members and encouraging others to step up as well. Because, for example, I have completed a path already. And for me to still continue my education, I'm doing either in different clubs or I'm presenting somewhere else. So for experienced members, there are thankfully a few more options, but also for new members, it's always important to encourage them to move up the levels. And the other thing that we can do, maybe not every month, maybe not even every 2 months, but every quarter, we can create a speechathon where it's all speeches, evaluations are offline. We don't have to interrupt anything. We just tick off those levels and make sure that everyone progresses.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes,
Did that
thank you.
answer your question?
It certainly does. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I have a comment I would like to
Yeah.
make.
Hi, Margot.
We have some people that seem to only come in when they want to make a speech. So I think this will help to
Yeah.
get them more involved and not just kind of use our club just to, you know, practice their speeches, because sometimes I don't think they even care about making a level or anything, just using
Yeah.
the club as a way to practice speaking.
Yes.
Yeah. And also this, for me, this is something that probably comes down into vetting whoever comes in the club as well. Not to say you're not allowed to come to our club or you're not allowed to be a member. On the contrary, we want you to be a member. However, are you aware of what a member does? Do you know that it's not only about doing a speech or participating in one evaluation, but it's everything else? Because usually when they start with the new pathways where you have to do some roles, they will start understanding that there is much more than being present or snapping the fingers as the word of the day, but it's also being part of the group and group success as well, because inevitably if that club reaches distinguished and other levels, you're part of that contribution and that celebration.
Yes. Yes, that is true.
Alex, there's a few people helping each other and answering the questions in the chat. But
That's amazing.
one of the ones that hasn't been answered is somebody called Joseph is seeing that, for example, in level 1 dynamic leadership, but when in fact all level 1, you've got writing a speech with purpose and also an introduction to vocal variety and body language. Do both of these projects need a separate speech or can they be addressed in one speech?
let's look at it together. Maybe I'll just go back, even if I have to take it. So dynamic leadership, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We have icebreaker, writing a speech with purpose, introduction to vocal variety, evaluation and feedback, and then yeah, this is twice for some reason. So I think the reason is because once you have to actually deliver the speech and then you have to evaluate, because there in the project there are two different things. And also you have to do a speech twice because you would have taken the feedback. So for example, if you do your speech now and the feedback was you have to use the stage a certain way or you have to project your voice differently, you redo the same speech incorporating the feedback. And I think I have enough experience Toastmasters here to build onto that or to confirm what I'm saying.
Yes,
Mm.
in my view, we wouldn't be asked to do those things more than once
Yeah.
unless it was building on our confidence and our ability to highlight what the purpose of the speech is, because that always changes. So I don't think you could incorporate all of those things with one speech, or even four of the things in one speech. You could incorporate them all, but I think it's important to highlight what is being done in that level one breakup. Mm.
So what I can do actually, after we finish this, I can also go into a level one of mine, and then we can look at the checklist together. And I think that will give you a fresh view on how the system really works. But just like Nola said, first look at the requirement of your project. Every project comes with a purpose. So what is the purpose of that project? And you can also have all your resources together. Was it Jonathan you mentioned?
It was Joseph who said,
Okay, sorry.
so he's just reinforcing. Yeah. I think that's possible. It's been written twice by mistake there, actually, in the dynamic leadership, because
Yeah.
you know how level one is the same for every path.
That could also be,
I think
although I
that's
did
wrong.
copy everything from
I think he was
international.
also asking, could you bring a couple of themes into one speech? And we're just clarifying there. They're all separate speeches where your focus is on those things. And for the evaluation and feedback, that's the one where you can repeat.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
And you're getting a heart from Joseph as well.
Yeah. And also when it comes to incorporating different things in your speech, you can, for example, you can use humor and maybe a personal story or engaging with the audience. But at the same time, your project will be very much specific to one thing. So that's what your evaluator should focus on when you complete your project. Yeah.
Do you think we should be giving more emphasis to the importance of being computer savvy now that we've got more and more and more? And I didn't even have a computer when I joined Toastmasters, which is, 25 years ago. And there are still people of my age, well, I think there are a few 80-year-olds around, that are still not au fait with the computer to the point where you can do it quickly. You may want to do 5 things in your day,
Yeah.
and you're going to put family first. And then, your husband has got to fit in there somewhere. And I've found, and they're very generous, but unless I have people come around to my house and sit with me at my computer, I really struggle and it
Yeah.
overwhelms me so that I'm not comfortable with that. Is there anyone else online here tonight where the computer does overwhelm you in accepting all of these things that are asked now, or are you all brilliant in what you do? But
I'll
I
tell you
know
what.
that, for instance, people who use computers in their workplace, they don't worry and they can
Yeah.
hit the button while I'm reading the first question and they're up to the 5th question. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
I know
takes
what
me
you mean,
half a
Nola.
day.
And even if I'm a bit, let's say I'm a bit more computer savvy,
A
although I'm
bit
not
more. Oh,
a
you
bit
are
more.
too.
But
Yeah.
also, at the same time, I remember when the pathways were the old ones, and I remember how much I used to dread to do my speeches in the system because it was so tedious. You had to take a test before and after. You didn't really know. You submitted, but it wasn't very clear. So now it's a bit more, it's a bit easier to navigate. And I know for a fact that they also made it easier for phone. So you could also start using it on the phone. Of course, if we ever meet in person, I may actually just sit with you and see what we can do together. But in the meantime, I'm just going to continue with a few more
Yes,
things
sorry.
Can
that
I
you have
just
in Python.
comment on Nola's question there?
Yeah.
Our current VPE and possibly next year's VPE after we have the elections, I may be in that role next year. Our VPE this year in particular has brought along her computer to meetings, and after the meeting or in the break has helped people who
That's very
aren't
generous.
computer savvy.
Yeah. That's a great idea, Andrew. Thank you. And if someone else has something similar in their club, I think it's a great idea to bring your laptop and maybe help someone who either doesn't know how to pick a path or doesn't know how to complete a project. Great idea. Thank you for sharing, Andrew. As I was saying, there are more things in this base camp. So what we have gone through so far, we went through, this is your own, this is no longer the base camp manager. This is you as a member. So when you open and you say, hey, welcome back, Alex, in this case, this is your path and learning where you see all the pathways you have either completed or they are in progress. Your achievements, let's say if you completed your pathways or DTM or any other projects, and then feedback. This is where I wanted to take a moment to talk about because it links to what Kirsty was just saying. So first is the member feedback and then the evaluation feedback. Now, if you want to give someone feedback, you can actually select the club. Let's say you're in multiple clubs because that's why it might ask you to select the club. Then you select the member, let's say Joe Evans. You can say here something very nice about Joe, something that she recently done at the club. And look at this beautiful thing that you have here. You can give them a badge. Okay, how cool is that? First, the badges could be for roles. So now, for example, Andrew was saying to Kirsty that if you have done a role, make sure you mark it. How about ask the VPE to send you the timer, the counter, or the grammarian badge, and then it's just on your profile. You know you've done it. Yeah. And then the more you get, the easier it is to count. So you don't have to keep track anymore. And then if you think that maybe they didn't really do a role tonight, but they just done something amazing. So I just want to applaud them for being so exceptional or adaptable. And in these arrows, you can just scroll and find so many more, but I took a screenshot, so I didn't go through all of them. And then once you have selected, you can choose visible to all club members, which I really encourage, or visible to selected members. So let's say you want to encourage Joe, but only the club officers to be the ones who see this. And then you can select only those members. How does this look like for you?
I think that's a wonderful idea. I did not realize that we could make it visible to all club members because that's a way to make it become a part of what your club is.
Yes.
Yes, it's so easy. If you're going to write something nice, you may as well allow everyone else to see it.
Absolutely. And the best time to do this is right after the meeting. So you had a meeting tonight. Let's say someone dropped from the role and someone else filled in last minute. You can absolutely give them a beautiful message and a badge for what they have done. Or even if someone has prepared way in advance, let's say they put their name 2 weeks in advance and they showed up, they've done excellent. Of course, they need encouragement. And this is just a way to showcase how much more your club is doing and how valuable your members are.
A quick question. Alex, you mentioned earlier about speech-a-thon, and Mary Lou asked, when you have speech-a-thons, do you need to have verbal evaluations?
No, I wouldn't recommend it. That's what I was telling Nola as well. So when you have speech-a-thon, let's say your meeting is for 1 hour and a half, then count how many 7 minutes or 12 or whatever timing the speeches have, and then fills the spot with only 1 minute in between for the Toastmasters to call the next speaker and the next speaker. And then the evaluators, all of them should have evaluators, but the evaluators will do a paper evaluator or a digital evaluator if they are computer savvy, and just submit the evaluation to the speaker without verbally presenting it. Because that takes from the time, right? So the purpose of a speechathon is really to focus on speeches.
No, and some people are adding different versions, which is you can do spoken evaluations and have nothing else, or you can do what you just said.
Yeah.
So basically just flexibility. Thanks, Alex.
Yes, absolutely. It's flexibility. And also, I really think it depends on the time of the meeting. If your meeting is pretty long, sure, you can have people speaking on evaluations as well. But if your meeting is very compact, then make the most out of it.
Yep. Thank you.
And then what else you have here? Well, those digital evaluation resources that I was talking about. So you're pulled in a meeting and they say, hey, we don't have an evaluator for Joe and she is doing icebreaker. Okay, you go into your pathways, then evaluation feedback, and just pick one of the digital forms that you need. If you don't find them, you can just scroll to view all and then pick that evaluation that you need for the member. And it's easy, they don't have to carry the paper and you don't have to wonder what is the project requirement. Yeah. That's it. Well, thank you for listening to this part, but as I said, I might just go into my own Toastmasters website and show you a fresh level from the start.
While you're doing that, I throw a question out. Has anyone in this room bought one of those pathways before they go up in price? Because I've just been clicking while Alex was talking and I can't see where in Toastmasters International you buy it.
Okay, I can maybe show you that as well. How about that? Because guess what? I did buy one.
Lovely. Excellent.
Yeah.
And we had a member at Wandon who gave a speech out of that new path, and she did such an excellent job. She'd gone to base camp at Everest and she had photos and it was just sensational. And of course she won speech of the day. Do all hubs have awards for best speakers or best evaluators? How many people do that? I'm just interested because 2 of my clubs do and 1 don't.
Do.
Yeah, we do.
Mhm.
Yes,
as well.
I think it's the most encouraging thing to do because sometimes it's not only the experienced people who win them. We're just so delighted to see new members come up and do well. Yes.
We also do it, and we also do it for base table topics, and sometimes a guest wins base table topic, and then they join. It's a
That's
very
right.
engaging thing to do. Now, I have a question for everyone. Do you see 2 tabs or 1 tab?
We see
So
that
this is 1 tab, and then this.
one tab.
Okay.
Two,
Oh, no, different. Hold on.
two tab.
This
2
is
tabs at
okay.
the top.
Yep.
Sorry, Alex. Yes, 2
Okay,
tabs.
great. So this is for Joe. This is just the normal Toastmasters. You have enter. It says welcome, Alex. And then if you go to education and
Yes.
education programs, you have to scroll down, choose a path.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah. And then just like I said, the language, you have to pick a language.
Oh, you're right. Okay. You do it as though you're starting again. Yep.
Yeah. And then view all, let's say view all, because I'm not going to take a test with you online. Unless you really want me to go through everything.
I can see it. Thank you.
And then you can just pick your path, and this is also the pricing of it. Okay?
Many thanks.
Great. Now, let's go into this. So we'll just go into engaging humor because I just bought this one. I thought I'm not funny enough. I should definitely build onto this skill. But I wanted to show something for everyone who's new, and especially for Kirsty because she said, oh, I've done my icebreaker, but I don't know really what's going on. So once you open your pathway, let's say it's a fresh pathway just like mine, so you've never really done anything in it, you have a button here that says start. So you can start and then you can go through every level one by one. Now, if you would have, let's say, completed level 1, this button here will be called resume because you have now started your path. But the good thing about it is you can see all the levels and their requirements, right? So we will focus on level 1 now just because it's something that maybe a lot of new members need to know. You have mastering fundamentals, the icebreaker, writing a speech with purpose, vocal variety and body language, evaluation, and then completion. If you are to go to icebreaker,
And clarification for use of language, it is your path, isn't it? It's not your pathway, because the pathway is the vehicle by which you achieve this, isn't it? So all the paths are not pathways, are they? They're
well, it's a
paths.
very good point, and to be honest, I was really thinking about that right before the session. I wasn't really sure, should I keep calling it pathways or path? But I guess I'll
Every
go
now and
with
again.
your recommendation for now because I really don't know what's the right one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just between you and I and another 20 friends. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So this is how it's going to look like. Once you've entered your icebreaker, it will tell you what it is, it will tell you about the project, and then you have all these PDFs that will tell you what's your checklist to do, what your resource to give to your evaluator. But again, evaluator can also access that from their own side at the moment. So you can give it to them, but they can also access. And then you can also print or the worksheet. Once you go next, it keeps telling you more. How would an introduction be like? What is the know, wonder, and learned? And then how to find support, right? I think it's fairly easy once you are reading through everything. It becomes a bit more easy to navigate, and I'm sure there is also a video. So it tells you even here what's the purpose of your project, so you don't need to wonder, oh my God, what do I do in a icebreaker speech? It tells you the purpose is to introduce yourself. And this is the very interesting part that I like is what do you know, what do you wonder, and then there will be something that you have learned in the next page, right? So you can also add new items. It's a bit interactive at the moment. So in the past it was a bit more clunky, but now it's interactive. You can add something on your own and you can add a description here. It's very easy. Or you can add a new item or just move on if you're not into it. Another thing that I mentioned to all of you was the checklist. I wonder if it's easy to see on this left-hand side under the fundamentals should be. Remember how I told you you need to cross off some of the things for each level? It's under here. So once you enter that level, under the fundamentals, the requirements, but also the checklist. In the checklist, how easy is this? Participate in table topic speaker before your icebreaker. Done. You can cross it off. Complete it. Done. This other project, okay, I'm crossing it off. And then you completed an additional role in the club. Now this is not mandatory, right? So I want to make this clarification for everyone because maybe as you see me ticking off things in my level, you go, oh, so now I have to really go and tick this off. No, but it's very easy for you to keep track of what you have done so that when you go back into your level, you can easily go, oh, yeah, I need to focus now on this project, complete the evaluation and feedback. Yes. And the other very interesting thing is that now we have bookmarks. So if you forgot where you are in your levels, you can just bookmark this page. And once you come back into your level, it will show you your bookmark is here. I hope this was a bit easier to understand. Can I have some feedback on how you find the navigation of the system directly from my profile?
Talking about clunky, can you just go to the completion of your path? It'll take you 5 minutes, folks, if you use a computer like I do. The level completion where you've got to say how proficient you are before the path and after the path. You've got
Yes.
to click 10 times, well, 12 times in those two issues. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Not that I'm going to change it.
Okay, I'm going for the sake of showing everything. I'm just gonna go up until completed my project here, right?
Okay.
And then I'll have to tell my club Nola made me.
Yes, that's right. And they'll all be terrified then.
Please. Oh yeah, like I said, there is a video, so I remember very well that there is a video in this project as well. Also, this part is interactive. You can actually click and tell you what is going on. It's more about really exploring the projects when you have time. It's rehearse. It tells you how to practice as well and what we expect. I'm just gonna go up until submission. I'm not going to submit, but want to see what Nola is complaining about today.
Well, just mentioning it sounds much nicer. Thank you very much. When you've got to assess
Oh, yes.
before your project and
Yeah.
after your project.
So that was okay. I think that's no longer how it used to be, right? Because in the past there used to be a test. You have to rate yourself how you've done before and how do you feel about it after.
Oh, yeah.
But in the new pathways, that's no longer the case.
Oh, I did it on Saturday.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Because I
so
had my
complete your
mentor,
project.
Murphy, here.
Next.
Yes.
No wonder what you have learned exactly. And now you can put the speech title when you delivered it, select your class,
Reflect on your learning, maybe.
and then who was your evaluator?
Alex,
And
could
then,
you just pause at that moment because
yeah,
this links to the question from Ken, who's
yeah,
asking about the difference between all those multiple speech evaluation forms. So that might link, you could perhaps talk to that.
yeah,
Got that
I will.
box evaluation form. Thanks so much.
So the speech evaluation form, let me just go through, Ken, just 1 second. I'll just go
Yeah,
through
because it's also
resources.
there where you were. Okay. Yeah.
Was it where I was?
Well, there was the option for the drop down, just yeah, but perhaps that wasn't very useful.
Okay. I can go previous, no problem. So Nola,
Yeah.
for your sake here, once you just continue with everything you have read, you have completed, you just complete my project. Yeah, there is no more. You can assess and reflect, but you don't need to say, yes, I'm now better than I was before.
Hmm.
Let's
Well,
go.
this, of course, is in a path that I bought before the changes and before, so
I
that
see.
has been eliminated. Someone heard me before I'd even said it then.
Yes, I think so. I think so. That's how everything happens.
That's
So,
fine.
can you stop me when we reach the screen that Ken was looking for?
Well, I think I'm not sure. Ken, do you want to just ask your question out loud to so directly?
Yes. Sorry about that. No, I just noticed on the evaluator feedback forms, there seems to be like 2 or 3 that almost have identical names, and I don't know, and they don't seem to be speech specific, so I got confused.
Right. So
They're not
first of all,
PDFs.
are
They
these
must
the
be.
ones or different ones?
No, they're the digital.
The
It's like where
digital
you send
ones.
it
So
to the.
then I will go to that as well,
Yeah,
Ken. You
thanks.
know what? Let's do it. So if you go to resources, just
Yeah.
like I said in my screenshots,
Or feedback. I think it was under feedback.
yep, feedback.
Yeah, evaluation, feedback.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. So now
There you go.
there's evaluation and feedback about what.
They're
Looking at
all
those.
different actually. So
Well,
see,
I'm
for
looking at
example,
Uh-huh.
at the end for their
I'll-
first speech person. Sorry, I'm jumping in. Alex,
that's
you
okay.
don't mean
But
to.
I'm just gonna focus on these two that really sound, sorry, I saw the 1 and 2 just now.
Yeah, resource 2 and resource 1.
Yeah, there were resource 1 and resource 2, right?
Yeah, can you scroll back? You had them and then they disappeared.
I know they keep updating themselves, but actually the fact that you've seen there is a 1 and a 2
Yeah.
also compares to, remember how we mentioned about a certain project being you have to present a speech and then the next time you do the speech you have to incorporate, then the evaluation would be evaluation resource 1 for this project and then resource 2.
I
So
see.
basically it builds on to what has been done before. And also all of them refer to projects that are actually in pathways. So if someone says, hey, I'm actually having a project about managing a difficult audience, you just search for it and this is the one.
Yes, and yet up the top, underlined, you've gone into feedback. Can I
Yeah.
tell you, I looked for half an hour one day, and you're all going to think I'm an idiot, but maybe some of that is true, because I was looking for evaluations. If they're going to give you some instruction, are they not consistent in what you're asked to look for? Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what
Hold
you're
on to
saying,
that
Nola.
page.
That's why I have this session.
I know, darling. Well, would you speak to somebody who knows something, please?
I think that's the point. That's the point for us to maybe come together once in a while and refresh what's going on out there. So I don't want to go way too long, but I want to get some feedback from you on what you have seen today and how you found the session. So maybe tell me, is this useful for you? Did you know already?
No, it was great. I think the idea of going through pathways, our club just has serious problems
Yeah.
starting, not worried about step 5, it's starting.
Yes, absolutely. I
think,
agree.
as Nola says, whether it's the inability of people to use computers, I know everyone's younger than me, and I'm much younger than Nola.
You are. You are.
It is just the fact of getting into pathways. It's like I'm not at work, I don't have to look. It's
Yes.
pretty simple, really. I think it has got better over the years, but look, no doubt these things can still get better. But I think the idea.
Absolutely. And I think there will still be some enhancements in what pathways really mean, because of course now the way of using any computer or any type of digital platform, we want to make it very easy and at our fingertips rather than having our laptop and trying to type things in. So I'm sure there will be even more updates. But in the meantime, I think this is very easy to use. And I also want to make it very clear, if you think that you've got parts of it, but you still need help, I'm happy to email me. I'm happy to support, not a problem.
No, I think it's so much better than it was before. It was really it just was full of bugs, and the Toasty couldn't answer any question. It was always around and around and around you go. Now I think it's pretty clear, and I agree that it keeps getting better. I think and I really like the extra thing of that you've got to do a role in the meeting, or and not be a taker all the time, because that's what's happened, is they're taking and not giving. So I think you need both. So.
Hi, Alex. My name's Jeffrey. I'm from Bendigo, and I must apologise. I thought it was 7 o'clock start, so I've missed the most important part. I must admit I haven't used pathways at all. I go back to the old system, and I never really got into it. But obviously, I just need to do it and work through it. So from what you've said, and from what other people and Ron have said, it's just a matter of attacking it and going through the process. And if I find a block, then I need to talk to someone who's got more experience than I have. So I'm sorry I missed the first half an hour.
It's been recorded.
I'm sorry you did, Jeffrey, but also because I actually didn't ask for people to sign up for this, I'm just thinking, if you want the slides for the meeting, can you send me an email at education from wherever you received the first email? Just send me an email back to request for the slides, because unfortunately I didn't ask for anyone to sign up. I just told them, this is the link, come whenever. But if you want to maybe have that step-by-step guide, just email me and I'll send it to you.
Great, thank you very much.
But that's answering, Alex, that's answering several people who are asking about that.
Yep.
So the other one linked to that is about, was this recorded and will this be going up on the website?
It is recorded and it will go on the website, but if you also want to email me, I'll just type my email, D73.
Lovely.
Yep.
Kirsty has her hand up for a question as well. But also while Kirsty's saying, I have to say that lots of people have had to be dropping out, because they're going to a meeting or something. There has been loads of appreciation, Alex, for this very amazing session.
Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I'm very pleased that we have a very good turnout, and I'm hoping to bring even more education. Christy, your hand is still up. Not sure if you want to say something else.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, when it comes to the roles that you do in the club, do you usually choose or request what you do, or is it assigned? Like for me, it was assigned, but I didn't know if that was because I was you or what normally happens.
All right, this question is beautiful. First, because Again, there is no rule. The way that it works, I'll tell you a few options. First of all, most of the times when there is a club meeting, some clubs prefer to ask for volunteers for the next meeting at the end of that meeting. What we do in my club, as we go, we just tell people to put their names down. We have this Excel sheet where people just say, I would like to be the table topic master next week. And then they put their name down. And then as we go, we assign them that role. But if you were assigned, it means that they actually needed someone to fill in. So to answer your question, really, it doesn't have to be black and white, and it doesn't have to be them assigning you or you asking for it. It's a combination. So if you want to do a certain role, talk to your VPE or anyone who does the agenda and tell them that you're ready to take on a certain role, and I'm sure they will really appreciate it.
And
Okay.
Free Toast Host makes it so easy for you to apply for a position or a role in the meeting. But
Yeah.
your club may not use that. They don't all use it, but we do. It's fabulous.
We just started using it, and
Are you liking it?
we're using it now, and before, when we had to sign up for it, I hated the way it was a sample thing, and it just drove me nuts.
Right.
But once we got into it, it worked out. It's really so much easier and
That's
really
great.
nice and clear. I think they need to do something about that beginning, though. That thing was driving me crazy.
And
I can only see half your face, Margaret. I didn't realize it was you. Hello to you.
Yeah, I gotta have
All
my
right,
name.
everyone.
I think that's from my thing with my sisters.
can I also ask, does it sometimes work out that people have more than one role in a meeting?
Yes,
Yes.
it happens. Absolutely.
It's
Especially
small
when
clubs.
everyone is on holidays or when the club is too small or for some reason a certain pandemic happens. Doesn't matter. There are times when 5 people have to rotate through all the roles. And this is also where your club builds resilience and keeps the right people together because that's where people go like, oh, I can't do so many roles. No, you can. That's why you're here and that's why you chose to be here. So don't give up and don't shy away from taking multiple roles as well if you have to or if you can.
Alex, I think that happens in a few clubs. It happens certainly in our club, depending on the people on the night. Some people couldn't make it; they're away. So we have a couple of minutes at the start where we say, "Well, Alex, can you do the timer? Nola, can you do such and such?" And we all adjust to it. Sometimes there's not many people at all, and
Yes.
it's actually good practice to adjust, to suddenly have to take on a role that you might not have expected to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you create a family. That's what I find happens, Jeffrey.
Yes, that's
You
right,
do.
Noel. Yes.
Yeah, it's everybody caring for everyone else. Mm.
And as Toastmaster, it's leadership. It's learning just how to adjust, duck, weave. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for your
Can
input.
I just add something that
Yes.
Something happened last night that the questions were quite difficult in table topics. And so the table topics master often says, would you like me to repeat that for you, Ron? And everybody said, yes, please, because apart from anything else, it gives you time to come up with a thing.
Yeah.
But the comment was made last night that in real life, that doesn't happen. If Ron's applying for a job and I'm an employer, and I ask a question and Ron says, could you repeat that, please? I might say, I don't think this man's a good one for the job. So we Toastmasters versus real life, if you like. But I thought it was a very good comment.
It's a very good comment, but also actually this kind of speaks to me personally because I work in HR and I do a lot of interviews. And in all transparency, I think there is nothing wrong with repeating the question. It's better to repeat the question than answering wrongly. Imagine if I ask you, what do you do for a living? And you come up with something that was your hobby.
24.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, exactly. Or you tell me the formula of, I don't know, water. And for me, it's important to get the question right rather than just speaking because you think someone else might have an idea about you repeating. But of course, it's more also a feedback for the Toastmasters. If the question was too hard, maybe they need to refine that because it's not the purpose is for them to speak, not to think of how long the question was. And sometimes long questions have 2 or 3 questions in one, right? Would you
Yes.
rather do that or this or what if? No, pick one.
Yeah, good point. Good points, Alex. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, I am going to close the meeting now because I think we have gone slightly over time, but I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. And like I said, one more session for the education series in June.
Thanks, Alex.
Please make sure you keep an eye on it.
Thanks,
Good.
Alex.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
So much.
Thank you very much,
Everyone.
Alex.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
everybody. Ta-da, everybody.